And the meek shall inherit the earth. And who are the meek? The earth mind, setting up standards of its own, mistakes meek for weak. Not so, my beloved. Meekness and weakness are not synonyms, but only confused as such in earth thinking. The quality of meekness includes and is part of compassion. And compassion is that portion of love in action. It easily may be seen, therefore, that meekness and weakness are not substitutes for each other, but quite opposites, as meekness, compassion, and love are qualities of strength, and therefore could not be qualities of weakness, but are quite contrary, requiring strength in knowledge. That is, one may be well aware of injustice toward himself, but realizing the fullness of God's love and the wondrous perfection and outworking of his ways through the law of love, bear with joy, not resigned fortitude, some or many, indeed all injustices to himself, great or small, knowing that he who sins against him knows not what he does, or should it be knowingly, he is therefore more to be loved and pitied. That he would knowingly choose to do ill, and therefore will for himself not more stately mansions, more glorious rooms in the Father's house, but a meaner abode for the shriveling soul that must abide therein. Pity and love him who so builds and so must dwell, and leave to the Father the rewards that must follow as cause and effect. But do thou not likewise as he, and thereby reap the rewards you both shall have sown, but encompass him, engulf him with that love that is of the Father, that is ever mild, ever meek, ever all available, and ever all encompassing. And fall not into the error of thinking that the Father is made in your image, and thinks thus and thus. But know you are of his image and likeness, and seek to know how his will may be done through you. He who speaks in anger is not meek, but has mistaken the weakness of his anger for strength. He who is meek speaks and acts out of the strength of love, the very nature of God, and man so acting must receive thereby that which he has acted out and sent out into the cosmos. For as such is sent out, so does such return, and tenfold, and tenfold. Now, to agree with thine adversary quickly requires the greatest strength and courage, meekness, to establish that bond between me and thee, earth brothers, you are each other, is to deny any separation in oneness, and to establish the unity of being in at least one consciousness, yours, where the will of God is then being manifested. This makes you, so doing, a focal point in universal cosmic law, from which the law works, radiates outward in all directions, through all infinity and all eternity. Being set up and radiating, such radiating is forever. Any good thing done is done forever, and the reward must follow therefrom forever. Conversely, the same would be true of ill. Except for this truth, ill, evil, error does not exist outside of human, earthling concept, and cannot perpetuate itself, being nothingness, but dies aborting if refuted at the instant of inception, or so dies when so seen for the nothingness in truth which it is. Accept no ill nor evil, not in intent nor in deed, not in word nor in thought, and give not the positive of good and active force of love to that which is powerless and without action. Be still and know that I am God. Be not proud of righteous indignation, which so often is more indignant than righteous. And do not feel thyself the judge of that which should be, being trained in error herein, and set up further negation to be overcome by the supplanting of good for evil. Why not plant good rather than supplant evil? The first good is better, though the correction of error, referring to your thoughts and actions, is to be desired, rather than the continued attempt to live in a vacuum, the supposition that error, evil, can and does act. It is only that there is that area wherein you have chosen that good, rightness, truth, has not the area, and therefore, by your acts, is denied the capacity of working. Now have no will of thine own, nor suppose that you can, as there is but one will and one mind, the will and mind of the Father. Be about the task of knowing and coinciding with the Father's will. Will to know and do, and in doing thou art being. In not doing so thou art not, but only waiting to be, waiting to become, waiting to start, to begin, like the runner who awaits the starter's gun for a race already won. You may coincide with the Father's will at any moment in time and anywhere in space. Your Father has not made a mysterious and difficult system, universe, for his children, but a happy free garden where they may dwell. They cast themselves therefrom by contention. The Father's will is easy, simple, and beautiful. Be submissive thereunto, and know the joys thereof. Do not give the earth man yourself, or those of yourself around you, a power that only the Father possesses. How can this be? Do you create the Father, or did he create you? Careful that thy mirror is clear and reflects clearly that which is of the Father, not clouded by the substitution of supposed human for that of the divine. You are divine. Why dost thou cloud the issue of thy divinity? The babe was born to show you again who you are. You are he who was born in Bethlehem. Canst thou see thyself? Thou shalt see God thereby. Who has seen me has seen the Father. Awaken as the newborn babe this day. Stand upright as thy Father's Son, one with him, and claim through act and deed thy birthright. The manger of thy heart awaits the Christ awakening of thy being. Thou art naught else. Be thou meek in the knowledge of thy being. Thou shalt inherit more than earth thereby. The kingdom shall